SG 27, Summary of Life and Qualities. Summary of Life and Qualities. The Thakur's biographers have summarized his life and accomplishments in various ways, each of them exhibiting keen appreciations of various aspects of the character and accomplishments of this Mahabhagavata, our beloved Acharya. 1969. It was the desire of Bhakti Vinod Thakur to spread the life and precepts of Lord Chaitanya in the Western countries. So with this in view of publishing the books Rai Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, His Leefa and Prajaps, he sent copies to various universities' libraries, and one of the copies was found in the McGill University in Montreal. After 72 years, this book was found in the library by one of our students, and he brought it to me. From a materialistic point of view, I was born in a different family, and Bhakti Vinod Thakur belonged to a different family, and my spiritual master, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, happened to be the fifth son of Bhakti Vinod Thakur. Although at home Bhakti Vinod Thakur was actually the spiritual master of my spiritual master, still he recommended Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, when he was a young man about 18 years old, that you go to Gaurakishora Dasa Babaji and become initiated by him. Bhakti Vinod Thakur was a magistrate and my Guru Maharaja belonged to a very respectable family, so he narrated the story before us, when he was recommended to be initiated by Gaurakishora Babaji Maharaja. This Gaurakishora Babaji Maharaja used to respect Bhakti Vinod Thakur as his guide, therefore we take it, that in our disciplic succession that Bhakti Vinod Thakur guided Gaurakishora Babaji Maharaja, and Gaurakishora Dasa Babaji Maharaja initiated my spiritual master. Therefore, Bhakti Vinod Thakur is accepted as the spiritual master of the spiritual master of my spiritual master. He is in the fourth generation, Grandman spiritual master. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Sankirtana movement, which Bhakti Vinod desired in 1896, and somehow or other, coincidentally, I do not know what was his desire, I was also born in that year. And, by Krishna's desire, I came to the disciplic succession, to Saraswati Thakur, and he asked me to go to the Western countries and preach Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teachings. The spiritual line of understanding is different from the materialistic point of view. The idea is that I was born in a different family and Guru Maharaja was born in a different family. Bhakti Vinod was at that time a magistrate, a government servant. By Lord Chaitanya's desire we have come in the same line of disciplic succession. What was taught by Bhakti Vinod Thakur in 1896, that these teachings of Lord Chaitanya should be spread in the Western countries, by chance or coincidence, it is now happening. We should take it for granted that whatever is happening at the present moment by my humble endeavor, it is all the grace of Bhakti Vinod Thakur. Therefore, on this auspicious ceremony of Lord Chaitanya's appearance day, it will be greatly beneficial for us to hear from Bhakti Vinod Thakur what he wrote 72 years before, and after 72 years, being a humble servant in that line, I am trying to distribute his teachings. There is a spiritual coincidence, and we should take advantage of Bhakti Vinod Thakur's book. Practically, this Chaitanya movement was of course Lord Chaitanya inaugurated this movement 500 years ago, and after that, so many pseudo-Chaitanyites depreciated the whole thing, but the Chaitanya movement in its pure form, as it is, was restarted by Bhakti Vinod Thakur. We should take it that Bhakti Vinod Thakur was the origin of the Krishna consciousness movement in its pure form. Bhakti Vinod wrote almost 100 books. Just imagine, he was a very responsible officer, a magistrate, and he was greatest thought. He also had many children. Altogether he had 10 children, and he had to take care of children, the office of magistrate and extra religious work. He was made superintendent of the temple of Jagannatha, because the government knew that Bhakti Vinod Thakur was a very highly advanced religious person. Whenever there was some religious question he was consulted. In spite of all his responsibilities, as officer, or as family man with so many children, he executed his family life very nicely, or else he could not have produced a child such as Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. At the same time he served the Supreme Lord in so many ways. That is the beauty. He has written so many books, and in spite of cumbersome duties, That is the beauty of his life. He would come from the office in the evening and take his meals and go to bed. That was his program. And he'd sleep from 8 to 12 at night, 4 hours, and then get up and write books until morning. That was his program. In this way, he wrote hundreds of books, some published, some in the course of being published. All this became possible because he was a sincere, faithful servant. To write so many books with so many responsibilities, for an ordinary magistrate is not possible. But because he was sincere, he got the strength from the Supreme Lord. One does not need to seek strength separate from the Supreme Lord. But if you are sincere, the Supreme will give you sufficient strength. Actually, Bhakti Vinod Thakur brought my Guru Maharaja to this world to be his son. He prayed to Lord Chaitanya that, your preaching and teachings have been so much appreciated, it is not in my power to correct them. He prayed to Lord Chaitanya, and after his prayer Lord Chaitanya sent my Guru Maharaja as his son. And he took up the matter very seriously. This delightful summary of the Thakura's life by Srila Prabhupada certifies a very important point for our understanding, that the pure cult of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had been lost for all practical purposes, and that Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur established the whole thing almost single-handedly. He also points out that it was the desire of Thakura Bhakti Vinod that the Krishna consciousness movement would spread all over the world. He thus credits this desire of the Thakura and Lord Chaitanya as resulting in the appearance of Srila Saraswati Thakura and Prabhupada's own subsequent linking with the line of disciplic succession. Thus, the International Society for Krishna Consciousness is a result of the desire and grace of Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur. As substantiated by Srila Prabhupada in the above statements, Prabhupada also puts special stress on how the Thakura was given empowerment or strength by the Lord to write transcendental literatures for the benefit of the world. We see how Srila Prabhupada also followed wonderfully in this line, executing the austerities of early rising for the composition of transcendental literature. He poignantly states with respect to the Thakura's literary accomplishments that he accomplished so much despite cumbersome duties, and that this was the beauty of his life. In a biography of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakura written by Bhakti Kusum Raman Maharaja, he identifies three major areas of the Thakura's achievements. First, his books and writings in various languages dealing with the science of Krishna consciousness as found in the teachings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the revealed scriptures. Second, the discovery of the Lord's actual birthplace. Third, the innovations he introduced for the purpose of preaching the teachings of Lord Chaitanya and the 6 Gosvamis throughout the world. Beyond this, the Thakura established the deities of Lord Chaitanya and Srimati Vishnupriya at Mayapura, and in Gadrumadvipa, his place of bhajana, he established and worshipped the deities of Gaura Gadadhara. He also personally preached about pure Krishna bhakti, and his activities demonstrated his limitless enthusiasm and determination for broadcasting Vaishnava Dharma. These characteristics are all indications of his being an eternal associate of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The Thakura was dedicated to the principle of truth from his childhood. His firm sense of responsibility in carrying out his duties, his ideal example of householder life, his eagerness to spend every moment possible cultivating and studying the science of Krishna consciousness, his punishing of the so-called Yuvatora, Bisikhism, despite severe opposition, his checking the murderous activities of the Kanjhar thieves and Vrindavana, his association with and affection for those who were dedicated to the worship of Krishna, and his visiting of various villages for spreading the message of Lord Gauranga both before and after his government retirement. All of these examples were meant for the edification and inspiration of all sincere and intelligent persons. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita Law 22:75, Lord Chaitanya tells Srila Sanatana Goswami, Sarva Mahaguna Vaishnava Shariyare Krishna Bhakte Krishna Raguna Se Kali Sanchare Vaishnava is one who has developed all good transcendental qualities. All the good qualities of Krishna gradually develop in Krishna's devotee. Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakura was the personification of this verse. The 26 qualities of a pure Vaishnava are mentioned in the same chapter of Madhya Leela cited above, text 78-80, Kripalu, Akradadraha, Satyasura se Manidasha, Vandanaya, Madhu, Shuchi, Yukinjana se Ravopa Koraku, Shanta, Krishna Ikasharana Ukoma, Uniha, Stira, Vijita Shadgunamida Bihuke. Abramata, Manada, Umani Gambhira, Karuna, Mahitra, Kavi, Daksha, Mahuni devotees are always merciful, humble, truthful, equal to all, faultless, magnanimous, mild and clean. They are without material possessions, and they perform welfare work for everyone. They are peaceful, surrendered to Krishna and desireless. They are indifferent to material acquisitions and are fixed in devotional service. They completely control the 6 bad qualities: lust, anger, greed and so forth. They eat only as much as required, and they are not inebriated. They are respectful, grave, compassionate and without false prestige. They are friendly, poetic, expert and silent. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura has discussed these 26 qualities at length in his introduction to Thakura Bhaktivinod's Jaiva Dharma. He mentions there that the Thakura displayed all of these qualities of a pure Vaishnava and that the most directly perceived was his eagerness to remain always fixed in the devotional service of the Lord, without wasting a single moment. The Calcutta High Court judge, Saradachardan Mitra, a friend of the Thakura who supplied him with valuable old manuscripts, remarked in the 1916 introduction to the biography Aglimsayin Tathe Alife Ohf Thakur Bhaktivinoda, "I knew Thakur Bhaktivinoda intimately as a friend and a relation. Even under pressure of official work as a magistrate in charge of a heavy subdivision, he could find time for devotional contemplation and work, and whenever I met him, our talk would turn in a few moments to the subject of bhakti and weight of it and the saintly work that they lay before him. Service of God is the only thing he longed for, and service under government, however honorable, was to him a clog.